Okay, so what happened in October for Abbotsford real estate? Well, generally speaking right now, your house is not going to sell unless it's priced right, especially if you have a detached home, because detached homes are selling at a 12% sales ratio, which means for every 10 homes getting listed, 1.2 sell within the month, meaning if you want to sell your home, you need to find a way to become the one home that sells out of 10, and right now that's usually price. So prices went down again for the third month in a row according to the home price index, which is currently putting us at $1.179 million for a detached home. And now quickly before we go into the prices of townhomes and condos, I want to go over where we're at for inventory. So for months of inventory, anything below 3 is a seller's market, 3 to 6 is balanced, and anything above 6 is a buyer's market. And basically how you calculate this is you take the total amount of inventory in the market at that time and you divide it by monthly sales, and then that gives you the amount of months it will take to sell all the inventory sitting on the market, called months of inventory. So detached homes are currently at a 8.5. I believe they were 11 last month, so detached actually got a little bit better. Apartments are at 2.5, so still in a seller's market, and townhomes are at 3.1, which is technically balanced, but leaning more towards the seller market side, I would say. And just looking at this metric, being a contrarian, I would think it's probably a decent time to buy a detached home for a multitude of reasons. I personally don't think we will see much more pain in the detached market, just based on the fact that the gap between condos and townhomes is very close right now. Or sorry, the gap between detached and townhomes and detached and condos is very close right now, and in order for detached to come down significantly from where it's at, condos and townhomes also have to come down significantly from where they are at. And in the detached market right now, we are still down roughly $350,000 off the February 2022 peak. Now on to townhomes. Townhomes only came down like $5,000 in October. Again, very low inventory still in the townhome market. Sales ratio of nearly 33%, which is a hot seller's market, and inventory actually took a 20% dive downwards in October. Apartments rolled over in August and have been making their way down since then, for a total of about $15,000 since August, still sitting at a sales ratio of 40%, however. So back to my point about the price gap between detached condos, townhomes. Guys, if you are living in a condo or a townhome right now and you want to upgrade, or you see yourself needing to upgrade in the future, now is the time to do that. Detached is well into a buyer's market right now, and condos and townhomes are still selling through really well. Now, if you're worried about the fact that, let's just say you have a $300,000 mortgage balance at 2.5% right now, and you don't want to have to engage a newer, higher interest rate for your monthly payments, and you know if you buy another home, you'll take on an extra, say, $300,000 of debt, talk to your lender, because most of the time you can do a port and blend, which is basically you take your $300,000 remaining balance at 2.5%, say you have it for another 3 years, you're going to keep that mortgage and you're going to port it onto the new house, and you're going to take out a second mortgage at today's current interest rate of 6.5%, whatever it may be, but blended together, it ends up being like an average interest rate of 4.5%. And then hopefully when the 2.5 has to renew, 3 years down the road, maybe interest rates are only 4.5 anyways, and then you're paying the exact amount that you're paying right now to begin with. But the main reason why you should be thinking about making this move right now as opposed to later on is basically the gap. A brand new 2-bedroom condo in Abbotsford is still selling for over $600,000. Well, you can buy a decent detached home on a 7,000 square foot lot for around $950,000. So the gap is like $300,000. That gap at one point was like $700,000 to $900,000. And the reason why that gap has closed in so much is because money has become so expensive to borrow. Obviously, the more expensive the home, the more money you need to borrow, the more expensive it is. Well, what do you think is going to happen when money gets cheaper? The gap between those product types, condos to detached, condos or townhomes to detached, is going to widen as it becomes cheaper to borrow more money. And you want to be making that move before that happens so you can benefit from the cheaper money pushing up the price of your detached home. So that is the play right now. I literally just did that myself, and maybe I'll be wrong and the market will crash, I'll go bankrupt and lose everything. But in theory, it is the right fundamental thing to do, and that's why I did it. So despite condos and townhomes being in a hot seller's market, by the numbers, I do think we have a bit more blood to go here. We're still adjusting to the fact that fixed rates basically went up 2% since the end of spring, and a lot of people still had rate holds from back then. Those are all expired now, but we still really haven't adjusted to that. You could get fixed rates at 4.5% in the spring if you were going on an insured mortgage. Now today they're more like 6.5% for a 5-year, the 2-year and the 3-year in the high 6s. However, the Canadian 5-year bond yield is starting to come back down. Since the beginning of October, we've tanked about 60 basis points, and in my opinion, this could be the start of a macro downtrend. Obviously, we're going to go up and down. It's not always going to be a straight line down, and I've been wrong about this 500 times, so maybe don't listen to me, but I think, we've now started the macro downtrend for fixed rates, and I believe the only way down over the long term the only direction we're going over the long term is likely down. That's my guess. So we could see the market level off and kind of stabilize in the new year if people can start taking out mortgages at, 60 basis points, 50 basis points less than what they're taking them out at. And as always, if you'd like to chat, use the link in the description, the first link in the description. Do not forget to subscribe and like the video. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.